Today we start a new part in our book, the fourth part. The fourth part is titled Āyam Brahmāsmi, which is Sanskrit for I am Brahman, a quote from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, an ancient scripture, a layer of the Vedas, early spiritual revelations coming from the Himalayas thousands of years ago. Brahman means universal consciousness. It is perhaps the ultimate revelation. I am universal consciousness. Aham Brahmāsmi. It's called a Mahavalkya, a great saying from ancient times. Much love, dear Lala Michelle. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. To anyone who needs to hear it, real aloe heals the esophagus and stomach. Alright, we start the 14th chapter. I hope this reading relaxes your mind and awakens your heart. The road was icy and crawling with carts, cars, buses, and crowds on foot, but the van held its own and made good progress. After a brief stop for gas, we headed directly to the Jolly Grant Airport in Dehradun, where a platoon of soldiers efficiently led us, privileged Western tourists, on a plane to Delhi. During the short, turbulent flight, amid the excited chatter and the steady drone of the army prop jet, Mr. Joshi's word, homeland, resounded off the aircraft cabin walls. My homeland, America, where I needed to be, where I would always be welcome, where my true self would emerge. As soon as we landed in Delhi, I decided to exchange my ticket for one to New York. I would call Gerhardt and tell him that I was leaving for good, that I had no use for his money that I bribed from him. I would also inform Mother Gabriel of the convent that I was working at, that she needed to find my replacement. I was going home. In New York, I would set up a consultancy on the management of the ever-increasing numbers of refugees. This had been my associate Pepe's and my future, who had passed away over the course of this story. Now it was mine. I breathed in and out. Soham, Soham, Sanskrit for He, I am, he referring to universal consciousness. What had I seen from that mountain cave? I had been feverish, in pain, exhausted and confused, and susceptible. Why did Sid feel the need to present this phantasmagoria that was completely contrary to what he termed as the highest wisdom? What was he trying to prove? As I drifted off, the question arose. Was what I witnessed on the mountain real, or was this roiling aircraft real? Both are unreal, the boy Ashtavakra said to King Janaka. Only you are real. I called Gerhard's office as soon as I had landed. After a few minutes of being transferred from here to there, a gravelly voice introduced itself as Herr Müller of Müller and Waldorf, attorneys at law. In the driest of tones, the voice informed me that I was no longer required at the convent in any capacity. "Who are you?" I screamed into the phone. "This is outrageous. How dare you? I must speak to Mr. Gerhardt. He'll want to know about Jonas." "You are a blackmailer," it cut in, "and Chairman Gerhardt does not like blackmailers. Your bank account has been cleared out to a zero balance." "My bank account? How did you gain access? You must tell Mr. Gerhardt that I had nothing to do with Jonas's capture, only Mr. Raja's death. I'm going home." Mr. Müller was no longer on the line. I checked my bank account. Zero balance. All I had on me was my airline ticket to Chennai and some loose cash and coins. Let's pause our reading of Moksha, liberation, there for now. Thank you for listening. Namaste.